Alright y'all, welcome back to Bianca Woke Up Late, and this week I'm changing the topic again. Today I want to talk about Will Smith. Recently, he decided to come right back out again and talk about the reasons he turned down Django Unchained. Now, he's talked about this topic many different times, and each time he has a seemingly new reason for why he turned down Django Unchained. And honestly, in my honest opinion, and a lot of people's honest opinion, it was the best option anyway, because we got the best Django out of Jamie Foxx. In our honest opinion, we don't really believe that Will Smith would have brought the character that we needed. And he basically says that, but in a completely different way. What really gets me upset though is that around last year, he announced that he would do a slavery film, and I'm extremely disappointed. I was disappointed when I found out that he was going to do Django, and I'm even more disappointed now that I'm finding out that he is still doing a slavery film. It kind of slipped my mind. Last year, I let it go. Didn't really register to me, and then they also canceled the shoot because they were supposed to film it in Georgia, but then they end up not filming it in Georgia. I thought it was just done for. Turns out right now they're filming it in New Orleans, and I'm just disappointed in Will Smith in general, because to be honest, he should know that we do not need a slave film, and he knew this earlier in his career, and he said himself he didn't want to depict black people like that. Black people don't want to see slave films. We know that already. That's a well-known fact in the black community, is that we don't want to see any more slave films, especially ones that don't involve violence against non-slaves. But that's kind of what Will Smith was getting into. He said to IndieWire, "I've always avoided making films about slavery. In the early part of my career, I didn't want to show black people that light. I wanted to be a superhero. So I wanted to depict black excellence along my white counterparts. I wanted to play roles that you would give to Tom Cruise," right? And that's completely understandable. That's what we'd rather see. But I'm going to get into why I'm extremely disappointed and why I really think that he's actually doing a slave film after all, right? So what went down with him and Quentin Tarantino when it came to Django, according to Will Smith and Tarantino, is that Tarantino chose Will as his primary lead actor, right? And Will had some contention with the way that the film was written. He didn't want the film to be about vengeance. But how can you even have a slave film and it not be vengeful? Who wants to see a slave film without vengeance? It doesn't make sense. What am I watching? At that point, I'm just watching slavery. That's all I'm watching. And why do I want to watch that? No one wants to see that. We're tired of seeing that. We don't need a reminder. It's bad enough we get a lot of slave films to begin with, and it's the same old trope over and over. Running away, getting beat, it's slavery. Nobody wants to see that. It's just not entertaining. I would argue that Django Unchained is probably the best slave film ever made. And it's because it has love and vengeance. But Will said that he wanted it to be mostly about love and not really violent and vengeful. See, that's where I have a problem. Again, who wants to see a slave film without vengeance? What is a slave film without violence? That's why Will Smith isn't the best option for something like Django Unchained. Now he has Emancipation, where he essentially feels that he gets to be a hero of some sort, and he's a runaway slave. Okay, fine. But do we need that though? That's the question. Do we need that though, Will? And that's why I want to get into why I think he's deciding to do a slave film. This man does not need to do any films about slavery. But I think the reason he is going after this film is because he wants an award. I think the man wants an Oscar. And then you look at, Hollywood and how they give out awards, and it seems that there is a trope that they seem to, nudge towards when they want to give you an award as a black man, right? they would much prefer that you play something emasculating, a dress maybe, playing a gay role maybe, and certainly they will give you the nod if you play a slave. Like, it's recorded, it's in history, we see the pattern, like it's there, and it looks like Will is falling into it because he wants that award. Like, he is the top guy in Hollywood and he's looking for that Oscar, to be honest. That's honestly how I see it. And for him, again with the Tarantino situation, he was also saying, hey, I don't feel like I'm the lead. I feel like Christoph Waltz is the lead. And that's a weird way to look at it, because the film is called Django and you would be playing Django. So for you to say, hey, I feel like I'm not going to be the lead in this film doesn't really add up. While Christoph Waltz's character plays a major role, he had to be next to Django the entire time because of the nature of the time period. So it made sense that he was right there, but Django is clearly the lead. Everything that they're doing is for Django. They're going to all of these plantations looking for Django's wife, not Christoph Waltz. Sure, Christoph Waltz's character wants something out of the deal, but mainly this is for Django, right? Now I start to think and I'm like, wait, I think this has way more to do with not feeling like a lead. Because this is an excellent film. Like, anyone could tell you that this is an excellent film. I think this has more to do with how much attention will have to capture, because when you look at a lot of his films, he usually isn't standing next to heavy hitters. He's not. And in this film, he would have to share that spotlight, right? He's going to be alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, Christoph Waltz, Kerry Washington, Samuel L. Jackson. We're talking about some big names in Hollywood, even for that time period, right? Even for that time period. These are some big, huge names in Hollywood. And when you know about filmmaking and budgets and stuff, you understand that when you have huge names like that, everyone isn't going to make top dollar, because the entire budget has to be spread out amongst all these players. So when you look at Jonah Hill, for example, he took a 50% pay cut in order to be in this film, right? But he understood why he wanted to be in this film, regardless of how much he would be paid. This is one of those films where it's like, you want to be in it. And then part of that reason is because of the writer-director, Quentin Tarantino, who Will would also have to share that spotlight with. I don't remember the name of the director of Pursuit of Happiness. I definitely don't remember the name of the director of Hancock. I really, really don't remember the name of a lot of the directors that Will Smith has ever worked with. It's always been a Will Smith movie. Usually it's a Will Smith movie. I think Hancock had like Jason Bateman or whatever his name is and Charlize Theron, but they weren't the biggest people in movie at the time. You know Will Smith got that check. Like, you know he got that check. But yeah, Will has this like perfect guy persona, and it just feels really, it would be really strange to have him in a film like Django, walking around not killing anybody. Like, it just doesn't add up, and it's just very strange for him to go and say something like, this is a brilliant film, but I need to be the lead, or this is a brilliant film, but it needs to be about love and not vengeance. If you saw Django, it was definitely about love, and underlying that love was vengeance. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was about. Finding his love, and then in the process, having a vengeance for the people that took her. Like, that's what the film was about. And everyone had amazing performances. Everything, the film came out how Quentin Tarantino wanted the film to come out. And the only way that was going to happen is if Will Smith wasn't in the film. And that's exactly what happened. He ended up not being in the film. Jamie Foxx coming in and showing us why he's one of the most talented people in Hollywood, period. Amazing singer, amazing actor. But yeah, that's just my opinion on the subject of this week. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.